The HOA president measured my rainwater barrels with a tape measure at 6 in the morning. But Veronica Hartwell wasn't just here to measure. She was swinging a crowbar like a deranged conductor, smashing holes through every single one of my custom rainwater barrels. $800 worth. Water and orange industrial paint pouring over my bare feet, cold and slimy and reeking of vandalism as the dawn. Sun just started to rise over Willowbrook Estates. She looked up from the mess, crowbar in hand, streaks of orange on her blazer, and she smiled. Not an apology, but that smug, satisfied little smirk that tells you, yeah, this is personal. And what are you supposed to do when someone's bashing your property with a crowbar at sunrise? I yelled at my security camera, more for the record than anything, and honestly, I wish I'd had the presence of mind to live stream the whole thing. So tell me, drop your wildest HOA horror story in the comments, because I swear, if you think this can't happen in your neighborhood, think again. You know what I mean? Now, I always thought collecting rainwater was environmental responsibility. Turns out, it was the start of a $15,000 war. My name's Jake Thornfield, and 3 years ago, I thought I'd found my patch of peace here in Colorado. 2 acres, legal water rights from the 1940s, a place to heal after my wife Sarah died. She always wanted a big garden to give back to the local food bank, and after she passed, growing those vegetables became my lifeline. Every tomato, every pepper, it was for her. 200 pounds. A month, my way of keeping my promise. Willowbrook sold the dream, rural character, preserving property values, all that. What I didn't know is, for some people, rules are a weapon. Enter Veronica, 47, newly elected HOA president, California real estate, business casual every day, a BMW like a dental tool, and an iPad and tape measure she used like sidearms. She moved in and went after inconsistencies, starting with me. First, a Tuesday in March, she rolled up with her new Environmental Compliance Committee, 3 clipboard-wielding neighbors. As if they were riot police. She rapped on my door with those perfectly manicured nails and dropped a 47-page water resource management addendum into my calloused hands. Never mind my filtration systems, never mind the law, mosquito breeding grounds, she said, and a $500 impact assessment fee plus monthly fines. The whole thing passed at some mystery email vote I never got. Yeah, democracy in action, HOA style. Here's the kicker. My retirement check is $2,400 a month. Sarah's medical bills wiped out our savings. The house is all I have. One missed payment, they could take it. Veronica miscalculated, though. See, I spent 30 years designing municipal irrigation in Colorado. I know water law, and I know this neighborhood better than anyone. I pulled out a 1943 property survey from my tool shed and started digging. Water pressure? She had no clue what that really meant. Next up, Veronica brought out her brother-in-law, Derek, a lawyer so slick he looked like a villain from an 80s movie, spouting off about state water regulations and HOA covenants, snapping legal papers in my face and threatening $200 daily fines. They took photos of everything, logged every supposed violation, even argued my vegetable garden wasn't ornamental landscaping. Meanwhile, my mailman Ron gave me the heads up, 3 other houses targeted, including Margaret Wu, Tom Kowalski, and Elena Rodriguez. It wasn't just me. This was a pattern. I spent a Friday at the county library with Mrs. Sophia, the world's sweetest librarian, digging through Colorado water law. Here's the twist. Colorado's constitution says water rights run with the land, and mine dated back to the 40s. Nothing the HOA passed could touch it. I filed my own complaint with the water court and put up security cameras because I knew Veronica wasn't finished. Sure enough, Saturday night, footage caught her and Derek sneaking around my yard at 2 in the morning, measuring barrels and plotting out loud. Once we hit $15,000 in fines, we can force a sale. They were manufacturing evidence, building a case to steal my house. But they made one mistake. They assumed I'd just roll over. So I rallied the neighbors. Margaret, it turns out, is a retired patent attorney. She'd been researching the HOA since they came for her bird feeders. Over coffee at her place, she showed me Veronica's election and the vote for her new bylaw were illegal. You need a quorum. They never had it. Meanwhile, my calls to real estate contacts painted a whole different picture. Veronica was in deep financial trouble. She wasn't enforcing rules for community standards. She was manufacturing fines to force sales, lining up properties for a development deal. Tom, construction, and Elena, county planning, joined the fight. Together, we realized the attack was coordinated. Thursday night, my cameras caught Veronica pouring bleach into my water barrels. Her voice on tape. "We need him gone before other owners find out about the development deal." That was it. This wasn't about water. This was a land grab. Veronica went nuclear, organizing a neighborhood safety forum. PowerPoints, fake charts, doctored photos, the whole bit, blaming me for everything from West Nile to property values dropping. She had the local media eating out of her hand, but we had science. And the law. Tom demolished her claims at the meeting, and when more neighbors came forward, we started to see the whole map. She was targeting anyone with land or roots in the neighborhood. Margaret filed ethics complaints. Ron, the mailman, tracked which properties got notices. It was all the most valuable ones, all systematically targeted. Friday night, as she prepped her garden party, which was really a pitch to Denver investors for a commercial development, Margaret dropped the final bombshell. The original ranch deed gave my property not just water rights, but control over the earthen dam upstream. That dam fed every lake, fountain, and irrigation system in Willowbrook. Legally, I controlled the flow. If I performed maintenance, which I was required by law to do, I could release water anytime, including right through the middle of her investor event. I agonized over it, honestly. I didn't want to punish my innocent neighbors. But the more we dug, the more obvious it became. This was systematic theft, and the only way to stop it was with something they couldn't ignore. We did everything by the book, notified the county, warned residents, coordinated with emergency services. The party was set up right in the seasonal floodplain, wooden dance floors, white tents, catering, all in the line of fire. Saturday, 3 p.m. I opened the dam gates for the required pressure release. Water rushed down, flooding the party zone just as Veronica started her sales pitch. Expensive catering, silk pavilions, the works, all underwater. The investors scrambled for their cars, their shoes squelching in the mud. Veronica stood there, drenched, screaming about terrorism, her empire literally washed away. The fallout? Derek lost his law license. Veronica lost her real estate license, and, eventually, her house. Margaret now runs a neighborhood rights clinic out of her dining room. I set up a scholarship in Sarah's name for water conservation and engineering students, and every year, we do a community flood drill, not out of fear, but to teach everyone what real responsibility looks like. And me? My garden's bigger than ever. Every harvest a reminder that standing up for what's right, for law, for neighbors, for memories, sometimes means getting your hands dirty. Sometimes it means opening the floodgates. Sometimes justice is a river, and if you've got your own HOA nightmare, trust me, you're not alone. Drop your story below, share your thoughts on what's right and what's just, and stick around, because the next battle's never far away. Water always finds its level, and so does justice.